Joining on the sofa with Esther for a Wednesday night special is Darnel Alexander talking about his latest single, Amazing. And we will also be joined by a very special guest, a surprise appearance by Gerald Alston from the Manhattans. Morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to a Wednesday night special on the sofa with a very special guest because we've got something to celebrate, something great to celebrate. Darnel Alexander. We will be talking about his latest album, no, single. Maybe there's an album, see? See?
Look,
His latest single release, which was released actually on Friday last week, and it's called Amazing. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to just sit down and have a congratulatory, celebratory conversation with Darnel? Good evening, Darnel. Good afternoon.
good evening, and I'm glad to be here once again, sharing this new release with you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I've got a bit, before we go any further, I can't wait. Actually, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you.
Okay.
Um, because I've asked someone to come on the show to sort of celebrate and co-host with
Oh,
you,
all right.
Gerald Alston from the Manhattans.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
What? Wow. This is great.
I was trying to keep it quiet, and I'm like, I can't do much more of the show. Gerald,
Hello, hello. How are you?
we are fine.
Wow. What an honor.
And how are you doing, sir?
Look, I'm doing great. I grew up
Well,
to
you're
your
sounding great too.
thank you. I grew up to
Definitely.
your music, man, and you were one of the voices, the premier voices that I enjoyed listening to.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gents, as you can see, I really felt it was important to have, I would say, one of the greatest legacy acts, Gerald Alston, on to, give pay tribute to Darnell, but also, it's where old school meets new school to really celebrate each other, and I just felt it was so important. And I was saying before that Gregory Williams from Switch couldn't make it, but he left a really glowing tribute to Darnell in terms of his wonderful voice. And it's really nice when we can all celebrate each other. So welcome, Gerald, onto the platform as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Darnell,
Yeah.
your latest single, your new release, Amazing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I was fortunate enough to have the producers find and locate me. Um, I'm not going to try to think about how that actually happened, but I put it out into the universe that I needed some folks to do my voice justice, musically and with music and lyrics and song. And Dennis Atkinson Jr. and Dennis Bettis, who's done a lot of work for Johnny Gill, Keith Sweat, and quite a few others. Charlie Wilson wrote the song. And, I feel like a lot of the times when I pick a song or pick, folks to write for me, they just somehow um, know what to write for what's happening in my world right now. And I think the song Amazing is a good take on looking at love in the most positive way and
Mm,
championing loving a woman in the most respectful way, and there's not a ton of that out musically right now, but I'm trying to keep that in the forefront of R&B to romance a woman and
mm.
appreciate all the beneficial things that the two coming together can achieve.
Excellent. And as you're talking, this sort of goes to the balladeer the balladeer that we have in front of him, Gerald Alston, because he's very much about love, kiss and say goodbye, there's no me without you, and all those other wonderful tracks. And, it just feels really right to have you both on this platform to celebrate, love. And over here on Sunday, we've got Mother's Day,
Yeah.
and we're just coming through International Women's Month. So it seems quite apt for you to have brought this out to celebrate women, but also to celebrate love. What do you say, Gerald? Because you listen to the track as well. I know I said,
Yes, yes. I believe and I feel in my heart you in the right place at the right time. Um, and I love that you have the sound. When I started singing, Sam Cooke was my idol and still is to this day.
Yeah.
And I used to sound like Sam Cooke. And then I had a friend to tell me when I got in the group, you sound like Sam, but make it your own.
Yep.
And when I heard you sing today, yes, you have a little Luther, you have a little Johnny Gill, but you are you.
Thank you. Yeah. You
You
know,
are you. And
yeah.
that's real. That's one of the best things that an artist, a singer can do is no matter is to make it him.
Yeah.
I heard you sing "Love Won't Let Me Wait." You
Mm.
made that you
Yeah.
know. And I know, I remember, Major Harris,
Yeah.
and also the guitar player, Eli, Bobby Eli.
Okay.
Mm.
And um, he just, that song was fit for Major, and Major made it himself. You took it and took it to even another level, a higher level, you know, and that's what it's all about. And you got it going on. I don't know what else I can say. You got it
Man,
going on.
look, I really appreciate it. You know, and a lot of this comes from when I was growing up. My mom would, literally every single morning, day and night, play music. And this is back when, LPs and records was,
Yeah,
had track tapes, you know what I mean? And, even when we went on road trips, this music was just, repeating and repeating in my head. And I think about all the things that I'm talented at. And the one thing that really stuck with me was how music resonated in my soul. And I
yeah.
think that's what really motivated me to become a singer. And then as I got older, the passion for it is what drove me to get to this point today, you know?
And
Brilliant.
when I heard you sing your first note, I knew it was coming from here. It wasn't like anything else but soul from your heart. And that makes a major difference. And no matter what song you sing, and when I started singing, my father was a singer. My uncle was one of the founding members of the Five Blind Boys of Alabama. And they both told me the same thing. Let it come from your heart.
Yeah.
Let it come from here. Tell the story. Know the story, not just the lyrics, but
Yeah.
know the song.
Mm.
And when you
Yeah.
know the story of the song and you feel it, you can put it here. The rest is history.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and you got it going. I'm telling you,
I
you
appreciate
got
it
it
so
going
much, Gerald.
on.
Look, Gerald, I mean, there's something about ballads, and like better than anyone else. Um, it's almost impossible to sing a ballad really well and not have felt that inside while you're singing it, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
You kind of take a trip, down memory lane in your life.
Yep.
You could probably do like a 10, 20-year tour on all the things you've gone through in life, in one song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's
It,
that's
it
that's what
and
happens.
what's amazing about that is because whether you've experienced that or seen someone go through that or whatever, you can sing that song with the feeling saying, this is how I would feel if I
Yeah,
was
Mm.
in that situation,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and that's what you put out there. And I'm telling you, that you got the right formula, you're moving in the right direction, and don't let nothing change you from singing from here.
Wow.
If it don't
Absolutely.
feel right from here,
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah, that's
Because if you
right.
start singing something that, oh, I can make this sound right, but you don't feel it, it's gonna come across just like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. I really appreciate you coming through for me like this. This is
Oh
crazy.
yeah, my pleasure.
Gerald's
Oh,
our man, as they say. And you said something earlier, Darnell, about R&B,
yeah,
because there is a real drive amongst certain ones to keep R&B alive, to keep the magic of R&B alive. So I'm going to ask Darnell, for you, what is the magic for R&B? And then I'm going to ask Gerald the same thing. What is the magic in keeping R&B alive?
I got a little picture up in my room and it says, music is what feeling sounds like.
Whoa.
And
Perfect.
my goal, and I'm determined. I'm not looking back. I'm gonna keep going like a bull, charging into, the matador.
Mhm.
Um, there's just that part of R&B that needs to survive when people are really telling the stories and singing from their heart. Um, like the old Motown sound and the way it
Yeah.
made people feel that energy and it made people dream. It made people fantasize.
Yes.
It made people want to be creative, and that's really my goal is to, um, just be thoughtful in what I'm doing and putting out there.
Mm.
That's
And
it.
Gerald, what does it mean to you? What is the magic of R&B?
The magic of ballad and love songs is, first of all, loving what you do. Sing songs that touch your heart that you can relate to. And you sing it from your heart, from your experience. And songs that people can relate to, that they can say, oh my God, I've just been through this, or I know somebody that went through this situation. You want to be able to relate to the people, to your fans, and when they can touch what you're feeling and what you're singing, that's true R&B because it's from the heart, it's from the soul, and it's everything that you are and what you're giving. And to have a great voice like you, and then deliver it like, oh man, I'm telling
Next,
you,
isn't it?
you're
Next,
on
Uh,
your way. You're on your way.
I mean, you're one of the greats, so I mean, I I believe you. If you say it, I believe it.
Yeah, just keep believing in yourself. And when you're making choices on songs, when it feels
Hmm.
right. And sometimes, now there are sometimes and that producers can hear you singing a song and you might say, well, that's not me. But they hear something
They
in you.
know,
And
yeah,
then you let them produce it, let them bring it out,
right.
you know. And that worked. That worked. I did a gospel album and I had a song Back to Basics. And it was kind of out of my comfort zone. And I said, "Oh man, this is not going to happen." The producer said, "Don't worry about it. You can sing this song." And when we finished it, I allowed him to do what he wanted, have me go where he wanted, and then after I did everything he wanted, he said, "All right, now go back in and sing the song." Came out perfect.
Wow. Those are the stories because
Yeah,
I've had a couple of times where the producers push me to my limits. You get frustrated. You're like, I don't
yeah,
know. Why are you making me sing it like this? But you let go, trust.
yeah.
You know, it's like trust in God. Just trust that the process is going to create the
That's
product,
it.
and it does always come out like how it's supposed to.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's the way to go. You got to keep God first in it all the time. You
Yeah.
got to keep God first because if you don't keep God first, it's like nothing.
Mm.
It's
Yep.
nothing. And that's something that's a must. That is a
Absolutely.
must.
Stay grounded, right?
And
Yes.
as you're both talking, there's something around nostalgia that's so important in the mix of this as well, isn't there? The voice, the look, the passion, the faith, but also you're bringing this nostalgic feeling back into people's world. There's so much happening at this moment in time. There's so much, and I know I say this a lot, but there's so much chaos in the world.
Yeah.
But then when you open your mouth to sing, Darnell, and also Gerald, it brings people into this place where they can almost exhale into something that's warm and yummy and something that's nostalgic and something that's safe and something that has meaning. It's about meaning now, isn't it? I leave that question over to you both. So what is the meaning of it? The importance of meaning?
Yeah, I think with like you said, with everything going on, and this has been since I want to, since humans could speak. It
Mm.
seems like music has always been the common denominator to keep people in a peaceful mindset, um, to help us grow as a society. Always seems to be the leveling factor,
Mm.
in the worst times. There's always been music, especially here in the United States. through all the civil rights struggles and everything, we're singing in church, we're singing in the streets, we're expressing our emotions through song and melody, and those vibrations have a huge impact on our psyche. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, but it's the vibrations that we put out that really affect us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And what about you, Gerald?
I was always taught that music is a universal language. And I've gone to Africa, I've gone to Japan, I've gone to Korea, um, the Philippines, different countries where they couldn't speak any English at all. A lot of our fans couldn't. But when we opened our mouths to sing, when I would start singing, they knew every lyric and they would sing it with you and they knew what it was. Um, it's very important. I think music is another thing I've heard. Music soothes the savage beast,
Mm,
and music is a way of bringing peace to people. If you really allow yourself to get into a song or artist performing, you can allow yourself to let go and be you, you know. And if it's a song about love and happiness, it may be tears of joy, tears of sadness, or whatever. But it becomes a part of you. And I've learned that from singing all over the world, different places. There's songs that we sing that were hits in the States. When I go to South Africa, is a whole different ball game with songs. We have to sing other songs from our album, just like in Brazil. When we go to Brazil, "Kiss and Say Goodbye." I mean, "Forever by Your Side" is just as big as "Kiss and Say Goodbye." We had to put those songs almost back to back,
mm.
you know. But it's it's just in you. It's a part of you. It's just making it happen and delivering that song. And when you deliver songs from the heart, I keep going back to it. When you deliver songs from the heart, it speaks for itself. And
Absolutely.
especially if it's great lyrics,
Yeah.
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, if it's great lyrics. And I'll tell you, Darnel, you are a singer that don't have to do a whole lot of things on stage. Okay? You don't have to. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to say this, please forgive me. You don't have to pull your shirt off
All right.
or I've seen some guys do this. I've worked with some artists that did this. There's nice looks that you can have, you know, showing masculinity, but you got it all going. All you got to do is sing, and you give them a
Okay.
little sex with it. It's off. The women is going crazy.
Look,
Excuse me for
Gerald,
calling,
the
but
funny,
it's the
funny story.
gospel. You got it going on for you,
I appreciate
and
you.
anything you do would enhance it if you just, enhance it.
Well,
But
the funny thing is, what you're saying is, when I was younger, I struggled to move at all. I just wanted to sing the songs because I was choosing really difficult songs to sing, and I was always amazed at how people could jump around on stage and actually sing.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I always put the music first before I tried to do any of the extra stuff
exactly.
to, highlight who I am
Mhm.
as a person, or, what I'm showing the
Yeah.
crowd. So yeah,
Music is always first when you come on stage. You know, um, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself on stage, your stage presence, and the way you deliver those songs, the way you lead in from one song to another song. You know, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of talking, but you can mention something where this song was a part of your life, or you seen this happen in somebody else's life, or you can relate to that song and you can set that song up. You can set that song up. Oh my God. I'm just telling you, man, you got it all there. All you just got to do is keep doing it.
yeah, I'm
Keep doing
in the works of just, working on some more stuff. So I just want to bring people some really good music, and maybe something different than what they are used to hearing.
it. Yeah. Now I'm
But
going to say,
also,
I won't,
so-
oh, I'm
sorry, but
sorry.
also one thing, sorry, Gerald, is that being authentic, that really comes through as well. Being
Yes,
authentic.
yes,
Yeah. Um, because, each one to their own. but being authentic, there's a power in that as well. So adding to what Gerald's spoken about, the voice, the way you present yourself, but when you're authentic also, that is a vibration that is like pure gold and pure dust. It's just like, I remember I met Gerald some years ago. I went to the States. That was such a journey. And I had booked an Airbnb, which I thought would be up the road. It was about 2.5 hours away from where Gerald lived. And I remember him calling me on the train. He goes, "Are you
Yeah.
still away?" And he goes, "Are you
I'm doing
okay?"
an interview.
Um,
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm downstairs. Bye.
I'm not gonna be long, Gerald. Sorry.
No,
And
you didn't lose me. That was my wife calling. I told her she forgot I was doing an interview with you and
and,
Darnel. Yeah.
and I remember saying to Gerald, I'm gonna show because I showed up. I showed up, but
Yeah.
there was something about our conversation, the authenticity of our conversation, and then the interview that was so powerful that we've become friends up until now. And it's so important to have that in your space and your world, not only as an artist, but just as a person generally. But before we go any further, I'm asking you to respond to that, Gerald. Just want to say thank you to all those who are listening to this conversation at the moment. There's Charlene Lewis, Elva Mason, hello. Mickey Rene, yes, music certainly provides a calm. There's Jacqueline McQueen, sang Darnell. Um, Charlene Lewis says Darnell is very gifted. There's some called Eleanor Cruz or Kraus, so hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. So thank you everyone for welcoming Darnell and Gerald Alston onto the platform. And as you both are speaking, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could do some sort of duet together?
Yeah, see, look,
Sounds
this guy
good.
got the
Yes.
voice right here, so he's gonna make
Yes.
me work for it. Yeah, I'm down for that. I am down
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
I think that would be amazing because you're
Make sure
too.
you make sure you give him my info when we're done here.
Oh, I will
Please
do. I
do.
will do.
And you can give her mine. Definitely.
I
Okay.
will do. But you were saying before that, Gerald, before I sort of slightly butted in.
I was about to say about one thing about singing is to stay humble. Stay humble. Don't sometimes don't believe all the hype. When you have people around you, everybody's yes, Darnell, yes, Darnell, you got it, Darnell, yes, Darnell. You want somebody gonna tell you, Darnell, that's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sharing this because I've been out here over 50 years doing this, and the Dells did it to me, and it's good when I can pass it on to somebody else, to you. Stay humble. Surround yourself with people in the business that's in your corner to help you and not going to tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear.
Right.
You know? And you got the formula there, and you just have to stay focused, do it and do it and do it.
Yeah.
I remember that's what I wanted to tell you. I did a song at the Odeum Hammersmith years ago. We were with I was with Natalie Cole,
Oh,
and I'd written this song called Almost There. Never been played on radio. And as I was telling you about setting the song up, I set the song up and I sang the song, and I got a standing ovation for at least a minute after we
Wow.
finished that song. You know, um, I'm just honored to see you in a place where you can do R&B some justice,
mm,
some
Yeah.
real justice,
mm,
because it's very important. And one other thing to keep that going is I don't know if you do it now. I'm sure you probably do, because you was talking about your mother playing the albums. Listen at some of the um, older artists. You don't want to sing like them. You just want to get something, and
Yeah.
you may not know what it is you're getting till you get it.
Yeah.
I used to do the Soul Weekender
mm,
in the UK, and oh God, I heard singers some of them that from the states that moved to the UK I'd never heard of,
Wow.
but I listened to them, and I got so much of an education. And then not only that, the people that were there, they were educated on the music.
Mm.
They could tell you just as much about your music as you knew when you recorded it. But you know, it's all these things. I hope, and I'm not. I just want to share with you. After listening to you, I just want to share whatever I can with you. You know, not being the bully, not trying to, know it all, but
No,
just share. You know, whatever you can use, you use it.
yeah,
And you keep singing the way you sing, and keep God first, and you don't have no problem in the world.
I appreciate you so much, man, for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
mean, I love you know, listening to folks who have more experience than I do, you know, and a different scope of knowledge. All of this stuff is super helpful. I'm
Hmm.
just being very grateful and mindful, like just staying in the moment, you know,
Yeah.
every step of the way that I'm going, and then, you know, being intentional about everything that I'm doing, you know, always trying to readjust as I
Hmm.
Mm.
move forward, and I'm just trying to stay on track. It's a lot sometimes,
Yeah.
I'm still enjoying the journey.
Yeah. And you'll bridge the gap.
Yeah,
You will bridge the gap between traditional R&B
Mm.
and today's R&B.
yeah,
I don't consider them the same,
right.
but what you sing and the way you sing and carry yourself, um, it'll bridge the gap. It will
All right,
bridge
now
the gap.
I'm
And
looking forward to this.
and one
But
thing for
you're
sure,
doing it. You're doing it. You,
yeah, and
you're doing it, Darnell.
singing
And
the songs that you're singing,
yeah,
you'll be around a long time.
well, I feel like this is deja vu. It's weird.
Singing the way you sing.
I do. I feel like this is deja vu. I'm like, I swear I heard this before. This is good news.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I'm going to try and do now, actually, I'm going to see if I can play some of the tracks. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Sofa with Esther. I have the absolute pleasure of having Darnel Alexander on the show, who's talking about his latest single, Amazing. And then joining us on this platform is the legend himself, Gerald Alston. Gerald Alston from Manhattan, but also Gerald Alston. And I just feel very, very privileged. We've got a few other people here actually saying, so this is Rick Laurie Ellingston, great interview and nice advice from Gerald. Cheryl McCrae, um, she's also on the thread. Thank you all so much for your messages. Now let me see if I can pull up this track.
You
Just
can't. I'll step in for you.
got it.
Yeah. Somebody, please tell me why no one tries to stay in love anymore. It's like
It's gone.
everybody else, girl, 'cause you are just so amazing, one of a kind type of love. I swear you are sent from an angel. I knew my heart needed love.
Woo!
Yes.
And that is why I look in your eyes. I can never get enough of your love. Oh no. And your mind is so amazing. So much smarter than I am. You're my educator, my motivator. Whoa. Girl, you are so amazing. Once in a lifetime of love.
Okay, we're gonna let people go and find out where they can listen to that. And just to say, Ron Ledford, thank you, Ron, for putting me in touch with Darnell like last year. Thank you so much. I had been tracking Darnell even before Ron contacted me, and it was really interesting when he said, "I've got a young man I'd love you to interview." And I said, oh my gosh, I've been tracking this guy because he's been doing Luther and Teddy. Got an amazing voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear more of Darnell's new single, amazing, and it really is amazing, he's going to give us details of all the major platforms where you can listen to that on. And it's winding down, gentlemen. What I'd like to find out from you, Gerald, is what's happening in your world. And then Darnell, we want to find out where you're going to be touring. So first over to Gerald. What's happening in your world, Gerald?
Well, we usually the first of the year, we kind of come down a little bit and rearrange the show and rehearse. And we're getting ready to go back out in May. We're going to a tour. We're doing a cruise in May 2nd through the 5th down in Ensenada. Then we're Atlanta. We're doing touring around in the States. We got, wow, they just coming in. They all May, June is coming in. We're going to Brazil. So it's coming in. Dates are coming in slower, but coming in slow, but coming in, I should say. But we're definitely touring. And also, I'm preparing my son. I'm working with him.
Yes,
And
I had the privilege of interviewing him a couple of years ago. He's hard to get hold of, though, because I had a couple of similar things like this where I had wanted him to come on. But when you're ready, let me know. Let me know, because he's got a phenomenal voice as well.
I'm going to send you a video of us. I don't want to take away from this, but I'll send a video.
That's all right.
Thank
That's all
you.
right.
Thank you. And then Darnell, what about you? What's this is just the start. I mean, this is the first quarter of spring. Well, spring started, next week. So where to next for Darnel Alexander?
May 11th, I'll be in Redondo Beach, California, at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center for Mother's Day. And that's going to be a tribute concert. There's going to be a couple other people there doing some tributes. So that'll be a super fun show. And then in June, I believe Vegas for Juneteenth, there's an event down there, which I'll be posting more information as I get it. And nothing else that I know of on the horizon yet, but I'm sure things will be coming in, as Gerald said before. And just working on new music all through that time to prepare for it. I thought it was going to be EP, but it might be a record. So there's a lot of material that I need to work on and complete and give people some stuff to chomp on throughout the summer and beyond.
And sort of winding down, any last words, gentlemen? Gerald.
It's one thing I wanted to say to Darnell, and I'm saying this because I've been there and I did that. Along with all the great singing and the great songs, keep your eye on the business.
Right.
Learn the business.
Yeah.
Know where your money's going, where it's coming from. Learn the business.
Yeah.
It's the old saying my cousin used to tell me, the game is the same, only the players change.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we don't want any horror stories. I know.
Right. So,
And a long time ago, I remember a buddy of mine, Marcel Sanders, handed me a book, The Business of Music, and I still have it to this day.
I got to show you.
Yep, that's the one. That's the one. And I'll tell you what, a lot of helpful information in there, and I do think it's ultra important. So that we can still be joyful in our creations and production of music without having to go through the mud and then be taken down emotionally where we can't be creative and do our craft.
Right. And
More,
you don't want to get there.
No.
So there's Babe Wright is watching. Ron Ledford said, Gerald, you are spot on. There's Jacqueline McQueen says, great advice. Michael Conciar. Oh, I can't. Sorry, Michael, if I can't pronounce yours.
Michael C. We call Mike C.
Okay, Mike C. Yes. Darnell is the next superstar. Outstanding talent. Awesome. And Babe Wright. Now, if I may be a bit naughty here, Baze asked the question of Gerald. I will keep it short. But Gerald, how did the Manhattans take that album cover in New York coming out of the manhole?
Oh my God.
Do you mind, Darnell?
I remember the day we did that.
Oh
Um,
man.
they Columbia wanted something different. And we were with the photographer, and they came up with this idea of you coming out of the manhole. And this was a big one. So all five of us were able to fit into that.
That's
But it was
crazy.
all Columbia record, Mickey Eichner, late Mickey Eichner. And he was the one that had that idea, and him and our manager. And it came to be a very good cover.
Iconic.
Yes. Now I tell you something though, it was hot. It was hot. It's something. It wasn't steam coming out, but it was heat. You could feel the heat.
Wow.
But I remember that like yesterday. Yesterday.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, gentlemen, I just want to say a huge thank you to both of you for coming on. Darnell, like I said, you are, there's the what is it? The beneath your wings. There's a wind beneath your wings,
Thank you.
and I can feel that vibration and that sensation, and I feel like I said, what really, puts the cherry on top of the cake for you is your authenticity, because it's so strong, and also your love. So everything that Gerald's mentioned about who you are as an artist, as a person, as a spiritual being, got to go there. And your voice. Every time you put something on Facebook, I'm like, dang, I can't even concentrate on my work, because as soon as you open your mouth, I'm like, dang. And what it does also, that whole taking back to an era where Gerald's come from, that's what people are trying to hold on to.
That's the good stuff right there. That's the passion, the venom,
The nostalgia, and like you said, really singing about real, authentic situations in a ballad. Then women aren't hoes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Women are gems. They're beautiful. They brought us here, into the, I mean, it's a package deal,
Yes.
And Gerald, as always, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald, for popping on here. I'm so honored that you came here, and I would love and looking forward to doing something with you. So,
well, we'll exchange information.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
Ladies and gents, just thank you all. There's more people. Oh, Babe Bright says fantastic. Let's chat and jam. Darnell speaks to the soul when he sings. Ron says thanks to Gerald, always a class act. Listen, peeps, right? I can't be reading out all of these now. I'm going to send the thread to Gerald and Darnell. And
okay.
just one day for Mother's Day, I'm doing a special with Climax and Cheryl Cooley. They're going to be talking about their latest singles. So loving what I do, loving what you guys are doing, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click the bell icon for notifications on future videos. Thank you for watching.